Okay, we're recording.
Okay. So obviously it's my second, so sorry if I said some things wrong, but so today is October 7th and it is 6 p.m. and the Windermere Active Youth Committee is starting. So first we have, first item on the agenda, we have public comment or open forum. I don't think we have anybody.
We didn't have anybody sign up, and I don't believe anybody that is attending tonight is part of the public forum. If there is, can you please type your name in the chat or unmute, say your name, address, and what issue you'd like to speak on. Going once, going twice. You're in the clear to go ahead and move forward, Raylan.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is membership. So we have an applicant, Catherine Hay. So I believe her application is attached at the end of at the bottom of the agenda. We can take a look at that. And so you can read about it, just take a look, and then we'll see if we have a motion to approve her into the committee.
Is there a motion to accept Catherine Hay as a member of the Ways Committee?
I motion. Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah, motion to accept Catherine Hay as a member. So Maddie made the motion.
And then I'll second.
Raylan seconds. And any further discussion?
Any further discussion? No, so now we vote.
Yep.
So all in favor say aye, starting with myself. Aye. Maddie.
Aye.
Haley.
Aye.
Ananya, am I saying that right?
Yeah, you are. Aye.
Jake. Jake.
Oh, I apologize. I thought my mic was unmuted. Aye.
Corey.
Aye.
Darby.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously. So Catherine Hay, welcome to the Ways Committee.
Yeah, all the members that were recommended for approval at the last meeting and this meeting will be in front of Town Council on October 13th for the final blessing. You don't have to attend.
So, any further discussion? Do I say that?
Oh no, the motion carries. So it'll go in front of Town Council on October 13th. So now you can move to the bylaws.
Okay. So for the bylaws, so I propose this. So I just want to open a discussion about a community service requirement for members, because I just want to make sure, especially this year with everything, I know last year a lot of our events were canceled, but it's really important that we have active members, because it's not just something you put on your resume for college. We want to make sure people are involved in the events and if we have opportunities. So I was just saying if we could open up to a requirement we could add in the bylaws to make sure everybody's active, whether that be attend half of the events that we have per year. We can keep track of that through like a sign up genius, or we do it an hour away. So just if any of you guys have ideas to make sure everybody's active.
So I've been volunteering with the tree board committee in Windermere, and I have been watering the town hall plants. That's like one way to do it, since it's harder for me to attend events that are like the race. I think when is the race? But if that's on a Saturday, that's harder for me to attend. But I've been doing that, and then other things through my school.
Okay. So the race already passed, but yeah, I think we'll just do I think it's something about like hours, but I think it might be better for like specifically not school or volunteer hours, not just to count how many hours you're doing in general, but actually attending Ways events. So the ones they need members for is what I was thinking. Did any of you guys have ideas for our events and others?
So I have an idea. For the events, we could say they're like 5 hours long, but not everyone can go that 5 hours. We could try to have everyone go at least 2 hours or 3 for each event. Obviously, that number would depend on how long some of the events are, but kind of have people get almost halfway if possible for each event. Or we could do every other event, but I feel like if we have everyone for at least half of the event, we'll have it covered, and then it'll kind of be flexible that way.
Okay. I like the idea of having not like all in because people have things come up. So I do like the idea at least like half the hours, or should we do something also like that, but also you don't have to go every time, because if you only can't go to every single one, then you won't be able to do all of them. So would you guys want to do maybe you have to attend a certain number of events, or just like Haley said, you have to attend events but only a certain amount of time of each one?
You could honestly do a combo of that to where you could say you can attend a certain amount of hours, like for the whole year. So then people can work that around their schedule. So if they want to, they can do a whole shift at an event to get some of the hours out, or they can split it up throughout the events. So then if you can't make one event, you have another event that you can volunteer the whole time for.
Okay, I like that idea. Then it'll just have to depend. I don't know how we do it. If we do a requirement, and what if we don't have enough events to reach the amount of time we can do that?
You can always condition it that, should something come up, and the person has a reasonable reason for not adhering to the community service hour requirement, the board or committee can, give them a pass.
Okay, I like that. So what's a good hour that we could set it at? Maybe trying to think of many events we have. And if anybody have ideas for the amount of hours we could do for the requirement?
A lot of the events are probably on hold until probably late spring, which gets you guys closer to graduation, which is the tough part.
We could always split it up into like certain months, and you have to do certain hours each month. So then if we don't have events, then it's understandable you don't have hours for those months. You could something like that. If you need at least how many hours? 4 per month? Or is that too much with events and everything?
I feel like per month is a little bit too much because we only have one meeting. So like that one meeting would be where you get your information. And for some people who play sports, like you have practice every single day and sometimes on the weekends. So I feel like having to keep track of every month doing a certain amount of hours on top of everything else might be a little much.
Then what do you suggest as an alternative? Do you have an idea?
I mean, I was thinking like if you volunteered for, well, obviously you'd volunteer for your event, but also for someone else's, so that you're doing yours and someone else's, so everyone always has help. But I don't know if we're actually going to be able to do any of our events, so if we can't, that doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, you're right. So like I think the idea would be is that it's not just your event, so it'd be like if Parks and Rec needs volunteers, that's also, you can go to it. You can go to one of ours. So it's like everything with us that we're involved in. So that gives more opportunities too. So you can help out with other people too, like you said.
It's just kind of hard because everything's so limited that if you don't want to be like stressed out about having to get a certain amount of hours when you have no opportunities.
Right. So I think if we did a flexible if we did a requirement and we just set it now and we can just see how it goes for a month, but if there's no, but we can also determine it with how many events we have each month, so it's understandable if we only have one event, then nobody's gonna get those hours. So we could do something like that, and then just when we tally them, we can just understand about how many events are and base it off that. Or we could do just, again, something overall that by the end of the month, you attend at least half of the events offered each month, at least some time of each month. So that's more flexible. So what if we did every month you at least attend half of them for a certain amount of time? So it's not required you do a certain amount of hours. It's just you attend at least for a certain amount of time half of the events. Would that be easier for everybody? That way you're not cramming with hours and everything and having to calculate that.
How many events are in a month?
That's what just depends, because if a lot of them aren't happening until spring, then we can just keep it there. And if we don't have any events, then that means, okay, you're fine. You don't even have half that you can do, if that makes sense.
But what if there's like only 1 or 2 events in a month and you're like busy on both the days? What happens?
Is that when it comes in with a valid excuse for that, is what we're talking about?
Yeah, it's just a reasonableness. But if like your grandmother dies 5 times in one year, then of course that's not reasonable. But there's a lot of stuff that there's small things that you can do in and around town, whether it's like a lakefront cleanup, watering the plants. Stuff like that maybe working with the other boards, we can get some ideas of maybe some volunteer hours, and then come back to you and say, listen, here's the list of what they're looking for. Can you accommodate that? And then some can actually be on your own time, like, again, watering the plants or maybe weeding some of the 1887 schoolhouse area, stuff like that. You can start slow, like with 3 or 2, and then work our way up if we need to. It's up to you guys.
3 or 2 for the hours or like activities themselves?
I don't know if you want to do like maybe 2 a quarter. So that's 6 or 8 for the entire year.
Wait, so I'm sorry, 8 hours or 8 activities, events, or stuff?
8 hours. I mean, it's however you want to do it. I know you guys have a lot of hours that you need to do for school. Right now we're handcuffed because of COVID. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the fall and winter. But I've spoken to several of the event organizers, like the Art Fair, the Craft Beer Fest, Windermere Wine and Dine. They're kind of looking at doing something in March, but that's cutting it close for you guys, especially when a lot of you are graduating in May. But it's just really hard to figure out what you can do.
I think 8 hours is reasonable for an entire year. I realize how much all of you have in your other activities, and if you put 8 hours as a floor, meaning that's your minimum that you have to do, that doesn't mean that anyone who wants to have more hours can't get them. We can find other activities. And so if some of you are looking for more hours because you need them for scholarship applications or for Bright Futures or whatever you need them for, we can still find other areas in town where you can contribute. But if you set just a minimum, then that kind of, it shows that you have dedication to the town, but it doesn't have to be anything excessive. You're already committing 1 hour a month to these meetings, which means that you're participating in decisions that the committee makes, and that's a value too. But to say, okay, beyond just that 1 hour, we're going to put a little bit of effort into the town outside of making time for the meeting, I think Rayland is a great idea. I just don't know that it needs to be very excessive for your minimums, but that doesn't say that it has to be, that's all you do. If any of you want to, we'll find ways that you can help, absolutely. Or if you make your own events that require more hours, then certainly you'll get more hours there too.
Yeah. Going off of that, yeah, the whole thing about this, proposing this, is just, it's not a cap by any means. It's just make sure everybody remains active. And 8 hours, I believe, is not excessive. I think that's reasonable, especially with a year. And again, if we don't have that many events, well, at the end, if we have excuses or actually reasons, we'll understand that. But just make sure everybody's active, because we can actually have an impact on the town and do our mission if we're actually involved with events and everything, because that's the most important thing. So we can just do 8 hours by the end of the year. And then it can be any time or any event with everything. So when we go to the meetings, we'll talk about other events. So talking about like, oh, Parks and Rec might need stuff for the Halloween stuff. So you can do that and record it. And then anybody have a way to record it? We could do we can make a Sign Up Genius account and then collect it through there. So we add all the events. So then it won't be you won't get all your information from the meeting. So say you miss a meeting and don't hear all the events, we can always just put them on the Sign Up Genius, so you can sign up for events months ahead, and then you'll have your name there, and then we'll record how many hours you do.
I know Parks and Recreation, they're going to be doing the Halloween parade, just like we did for the Easter parade. So they're going to be throwing out candy. I actually meet with them tomorrow night, so I'll see if they need volunteers to actually bag up the candy to throw out.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. I was talking to them. They do need volunteers the 28th of October. Okay. So that's a good opportunity that we'll have. Is there any other input with that?
Is there a motion to approve 8 hours for the year, or whatever hours you believe would be appropriate?
I'll motion for the 8 hours per year.
And
I'll second that.
Oh, let Jake do that.
All right, motion by Haley, seconded by Jake.
Okay, so we'll start voting. So all in favor.
Further discussion?
Oh, further discussion.
Seeing none.
None. Oh wait, did I say that? Say none.
Seeing none.
Oh. Okay. all in favor say aye, starting with me. Aye. Jake.
Aye.
Haley.
Aye.
Maddie.
Aye.
Ananya.
Aye.
Corey.
Aye.
Darby.
Aye.
Lynn.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously. Awesome. Okay, do I say anything else, or am I good?
No, you're good. Motion carries, and we will amend the bylaws to reflect the 8-hour mandatory volunteer hours.
And then I'll work on that sign up link, and I can send it out very quickly.
Okay.
So the next item on the agenda is recognition of past members / thank you plaques.
Yeah, we're going to be recognizing the past members at the October 13th town council meeting. I have the plaques in my office, so we'll go ahead and see if the officers, or if one of the staff members, or if any of you want to deliver them to the past members, feel free to drop it off at their house. Just let me know which way you want to go logistically on giving them out. But it's just a small little plaque of recognition. You know, you can hang it up, you can use it as a paperweight, you can throw it at somebody you don't like, but it's just nice to have. And it's, you know, it's a token of our appreciation. When you guys, you know, transition out of this committee, we'll be doing the same for you to make sure. Unfortunately, we can't do it at a live event right now, or else we'd get everybody up there. We would take a picture, we would put it in the paper. But we do want to show at least some form of recognition for your volunteering your time, you know, and making this committee progress forward.
Robert? So this is the first I'm hearing of this, and I think it's a great idea. I'm wondering if we might hold off on distributing those until maybe we could get some cards that all of our town council and mayor could actually, you know, write to each one. We can address a card to each one of the former members and each town council member and mayor can sign. Can we do something like that, include with those? I'll take that on. I'll make sure that we have enough cards and that we get those circulated to town council members. I'll coordinate it. We can do that.
Perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
thanks.
Okay, so any further discussion on that?
Yeah, you don't have to vote on that.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is 2020-2021 committee goals and opportunities discussion. Anybody want to start it off? Any ideas for events? Remember we were talking about last time. I know our last meeting was kind of close, but if anybody has community service event ideas. Okay, so I guess I'll start. So like I said, October 28th, Parks and Rec will need volunteers to pass out goodie bags for the Halloween parade. So I'll put that on the sign up, but that's a good event to get. And it's really fun, you know, just passing out goodie bags. And then also for my Zest Fest, I was gonna go tonight, but for the meeting, but our meeting's at the same time. So I'm on the agenda for next meeting, or I might meet with him again because it's been a while. I did meet with the chair a while ago, but that was last year. But I'm gonna propose the idea and start getting it up. So we're gonna be thinking of ideas for that. And because of social distancing and everything, we're gonna try to keep the same idea of picking oranges and joining them to Second Harvest Food Bank and then opening the schoolhouse. He was suggesting the historical board was gonna do food trucks and everything, but that's probably not gonna happen this year because, you know, can't have big events. But it'll be later in the year, and it would just be more of a volunteer event and just everything like that. And that's all I have for right now. If anybody else has ideas.
I still like the dodgeball idea.
You want to play, don't you, Robert?
What's that?
You want to play, don't you?
Well, I know a lot of people in the community just want me to have a blindfolded cigarette and they just throw stuff at me. That'd probably be a great fundraiser, but I think that's an easy way to social distance is that type of activity if you do 5-on-5 or 6-on-6. But yeah, it's just kind of hard again with the pandemic right now of planning a small enough event where you're not really having a negative impact. I know last year they were talking about board games and whatnot. I think you can do that with appropriate social distancing, you know, Battleship or playing chess or something like that, as long as you're wearing masks, just have like a game night. But I leave that up to you guys.
Well, Ron DeSantis just let it football games, like full football stadiums, be full. So I'm thinking if whatever our event is outside, our crowds are probably going to be less than a UF football stadium.
Yeah, the problem with DeSantis is, you know, he can do that for the Department of Education, but right now we're still under a county executive order, which still restricts us. It's county by county. So I think we're still restricted to either 50 or 100 for a public space. You can do it at a private space, which is fine. Like if you go to the Pines or if you do it, you know, at a school property, then you're more than happy to do it. You know, but we just can't do it on town property. So, and then we'd have to talk to council of whether or not they'd be willing to support you guys having an event that is town sponsored, that, you know, is going to be held on private property, so on and so forth. And if our insurance company will cover that, but we can always look into that. So if you still want to do that, just let me know. We can work out the logistics.
Okay.
Maybe the town council will have a team.
I think dunk tanks would be fun too. I'm sure there's a lot of people in town who might want to dunk some of us.
There'd be a line up down Main Street for me.
Actually, you know, if you offered it to outside of the town borders for people to come that don't live in Windermere, we'd probably get a pretty good turnout.
Yeah. So was that Darby with the dodgeball?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Raylan, you don't have any objections, you can probably look into it, work with churches, schools, and see if they have a space for it, and then I'll try to work with her on logistics, maybe find a sponsor, and then if it's something that we can do safely and appropriately, we can bring it back to the Ways Committee for approval.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, Darby, just let me know. Maybe we'll get that started.
Okay, and that goes for anybody. I mean, that goes for everybody. If you have an idea, I have contacts, and you know, like last year we were going to have a you know, self-defense class, anti-bullying. Even when it comes to Zoom, you guys can, you know, create a program, and then we can do it through a public Zoom meeting, internet security, stuff like that, because a lot of the kids are on, you know, the computer nowadays because that's how they're getting their education. So maybe it's setting something up for the parents on how to protect their kids from, you know, sexual predators, so on and so forth. So think outside the box, you know, because we're in little boxes right now, but there's a lot of things that we can do. You know, just because we're in our homes, we can still do stuff to educate people on other things that are going on in the world.
Yeah, and guys, just like last meeting, just think of ideas, and we can talk about this next meeting, especially, so we can get some stuff.
Yeah, and always reach out to me if you have an idea, and I'll be more happy to see if it's something that we can do legally and logistically.
Okay. Anybody have anything else under this item? Nope. Okay. So Gazette articles. So we talked about these last meeting. So the winter ones are due November 20th. So we talked about if anybody wants to take this on. I didn't know if we had anybody. So if anybody's interested in that. And it's like where you can talk about events. So if we do, we can always put this at the next meeting also, because if we do get the dodgeball thing, we can always talk about that on there. So we can always just wait to write something up until we have an event or something. If you guys want to do that. Okay, I guess we'll just do it then. Okay, so moving on, social media update. So remember we were talking about maybe putting a new position as, what was it, social media coordinator or something. So it's another, it could be a position if anyone takes that on. It's just managing Instagram and Facebook. And wasn't it, every time we publish something to Facebook, it just went to Instagram. It wasn't how. Yeah. So it's easy, you just have to send it over. So you take a picture at an event, we can send it over, get approval, and then we can post it on our social media. So does anybody want to take that position? Because we talked about waiting, but be social media coordinator, we can give you a position.
It's a great resume builder, as Councilmember Andrews said in the past. So, yeah.
It seriously is. So, I mean, you know, like I worked for a few different companies as a consultant, and everyone's always trying to hire somebody who is of your generation or a little bit older than you, and they always want to see social media experience. So if you can say I was a social media coordinator or director or whatever we call it for a volunteer organization, it matters. So I just recommend, it's probably not going to take very much of your time at all.
Yeah, it's so easy to post something. Just send it over and then just got to upload it.
I can do it.
I think that was Maddie.
Yes, and somebody else too.
Oh, it was me, but it's okay.
Well, you could have two. I think last year, didn't we have two?
Yeah, we had
Yes, we did.
We had two.
Oh, that's cool.
It's always good to have backup. So, you know, if one of you goes to an event and the other doesn't or something like that, or one of you gets a really good video and the other one is busy helping with something else, you know, you've got somebody else to make sure that there's a post that gets done from everything.
Yeah, and you don't even have to be at the event. Let's say that Darby's at the event and she takes a picture, she'll send it to you. You guys do a write-up, and then we'll be able to post it.
great. So do we do a motion to give them a position, or are they just gonna?
Sure. Make it official. A motion to, well, you take the lead.
A motion to approve Anaya and Maddie as social media coordinators / directors for the Ways Committee. I'll do a motion for that. And then I do a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Remember this time. Nope. Okay. So all in favor say aye. I'll start with me. Aye. Ananya.
Aye.
Maddie.
Aye.
Haley.
I
Jake.
Aye.
Corey.
Aye.
Darby.
Aye.
And Quinn.
Aye.
The motion passes unanimously. So congrats, guys. Social media. Okay. The next item is other items for consideration. Anybody have anything?
Yeah, it's just kitchen sink discussions. Nothing in this area can be brought up for a vote, but it can be brought up to another meeting for a discussion. So if you have any ideas, anything that you want to amend, now's the time to throw it out there. I mean, what I can do too is, we have a couple projects that are coming up. And with those projects, we typically use a member of each committee, like long range planning, tree board, parks and recreation. So it'd probably be good if, we include somebody from the Ways Committee too, because a lot of us old farts sometimes forget what it's like being a kid. Not a kid, sorry, young adult or adults, however old you are. But we forget what it's like. So maybe we'd want to gain some input. So if any of those things come up, what I'll do is I'll email Rayland and then she'll send it out to everybody of who we want to sit on a stakeholders meeting where we discuss some of the future projects, and you can tell them from what you see from your perspective, like the multimodal trail or the pedestrian bridge that we're working on right now. You can tell us your thoughts, and the same thing with some of the issues that we're dealing with Parks and Rec and roads and so on and so forth. So I think that's something that you guys would be a great help with.
I think council would absolutely love to hear too your perspective. So you'd be valued.
So we'll email Raylan whenever that opportunity comes up.
Sounds good. I was wondering, are we allowed to have physical meetings?
You mean in person?
Yes.
Starting next month, yes. The executive order, typically Governor DeSantis likes to wait to the very last minute. And with the fact that the election is November 3rd, November 3rd or November 2nd, please somebody correct me. I have absentee, so.
I have absentee also.
Oh, come on, people. You're our future. You're supposed to know the exact date.
3rd, it's a Tuesday, 3rd.
All right, so good, I was right. November 3rd is the election day, so we'll see if he's going to extend that past October 31st, but I don't believe he is, so probably next month we'll be meeting in person.
Okay. So we'll just let everybody know.
Yeah, we'll have everything set up. Everything's going to be safe, so you don't have to worry about it.
And then also, I'm not sure if I can talk about this on this one, but I made a new group me. So if you guys saw that, it's just with the new members. So we don't have to keep texting with all the old members and blowing up their phones. So just use the new group me for now on. And that's what I have.
You can just ask for a motion to adjourn, right?
Okay. Have a motion to adjourn the October 7th Ways meeting.
you guys want to get out of here, you need a motion.
I'll
I'll
motion.
second that motion.
Rapid fire now.
It's like in Mean Girls. We cannot hold them past 4 o'clock.
All right. You got a motion, a second. You don't have to do a roll call. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 I don't see
Aye.
any, I don't see any people
Aye.
objecting to that.
So the October 7th Ways Committee has ended at 6:35 p.m.
All right. Great job, Raylan.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.